right, everybody. It is 6:03 p.m. and it is time for Earl Grey Tuesday. And once again, it's me. It's me. It's the VINCE, and I hope everybody's doing all right this afternoon, folks. It's been one of those days here. I'll tell you what. But in any event, I do want to show you guys a little something something from a little something something here. We have a great night tonight, folks. We got a lot of good stuff. But before we begin, do y'all see this? You're going to be seeing a lot more of it. The thing about it is, fellow piss troopers, Marcus Garvey started Black Star Lines. The great one is starting Black Star Wellness. We'll be providing telehealth, GLP-1, peptides, weight loss, hair loss, testosterone replacement. Unlike these other washed up bastards, I will be providing actual doctors and nurses. All right? Not some UG lab bullcrap. From real pharmacies, okay? It's like nothing else here, you know. Well, I mean, there's similar companies like mine, but mine is going to be on the up and up. The last thing I want to do is fuck anything up. Now, if you guys want peptides, you guys know how I feel about peptides. But the fact of the matter is people want them. And if you're going to get them from me, okay? We're going to be starting this up probably in a couple of weeks or so. All right? I already have the base of the website already built, so we'll be tuning in. Of course, there's a little African flag up there, you know, and stuff. That's all right. You know, it's Afrocentric. We are marketing to the black community. Although there will be another name for a site, but yeah. We need to do that there because here's the thing, folks. Selling medical supplies, it's coming to a very end. So, and not only that, everybody is raging for this stuff. So they may as well get it from me, someone that you could trust. Your fellow piss trooper, old Vince Goodrum, Uncle Vince, all right? But in any event, how y'all doing there? Pugman, what's up? Now, in case you want to know, I had announced last week that we're putting a hold on, you know, the wearing of any robes. I don't want to wear any robes right now. So I'll be wearing different multicolored sweaters, okay? So tonight, I have a glass of Radius Merlot. I needed to finish this off, and now I am. My cigars came in today, but they need to cool out in the humidor. So I got my factory smoke, cut it in half. So basically it's actually the size of a Robusto. So I'm gonna be good on that. And of course, water cup, give it to be my good friend Pugman. Y'all be sure to thank Pugman. We will start off with some local news, and when I mean local, I mean real loco. Now, as you guys know, the great one, Earl, North Carolina, he is indeed right next door to Taco Bell was, boy, what is this doing? Oh, no, you're good. Hang tight, folks. Now, I'm trying to get this to load up. I don't know what's happening. Now, this guy right here, now he's mentally disabled. He's worked there for 30 some years. He was there when I worked at in Asheville. Very nice guy. I think he's probably in his 50s or 60s now. He's probably around the same age I am. This guy comes behind the counter and smacks him for no apparent reason. I guess he's drunk. So, anytime you hit a disabled person, you know, that doesn't bode well for the rest of the workers. Let's see what happens.
A few moments later.
Now that right there is my old buddy Curtis, okay? Just to let you know. It's hard to see, but, you know, Curtis, back in the day, he was a little wild one. He would go and, well, anyway. But one thing is he's very protective of people.
Going back there. Somebody call 911. Call the police.
Folks, that's so let me show you guys this again. Why in the world would you punch a person that's disabled there? You know what I mean? I mean, he asked for. I mean, why would you punch? Why would you do that for?
A few moments later.
I wanted to just going back there. Somebody call 911. Call the police.
Step chair gains right there, my friend. Step chair gains. Oh boy. Hold on just a minute. All right, now that we got the cigar lit, let's get a little music playing. Folks, get your questions in. If you wish to make a donation, you can smash the like button. Don't forget, 7 o'clock p.m., we will be doing reaction videos on the Kick channel. Ain't I gorgeous on that Kick channel? So, y'all look out for that. Yeah, this was somewhat of a Rich Piana situation, except that, you know, Curtis is a little bit crazy, all right? You know, but for once, I actually have to back his play in beating that guy with a step chair. But that's some step chair gains right there. Speaking of gains, have you guys seen Vegan Gains? I mean, let me show you guys a picture of this here. This is just insane. I don't know what he's putting in his Wheaties now. Let me pull up Vegan Gains' clip. I gotta show you guys this. This is freaking insane. I mean, folks, that's scary right there. That is real scary. No, raw food, it isn't true. And according to this, it looks like he's actually leaning up, so he's dieting down, actually. You can tell by the waist. So maybe he actually is doing a classic physique show.
Negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating? When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing that motivates.
I mean, it's right. There's one thing about money.
Motivating you to make a deal. When you're negotiating.
Not even a little.
There's another thing about not being turned into nuclear ash. You know, I don't pay much attention to things like that, raw food. I really don't. Who gives a damn what color my lips are? But folks, get your questions in, besides raw food. If not, want to make a donation, you can. Smash that like button. But let's see what else has been going on. Well, my cousin just started working out about 3 minutes ago. I think his workout streams have been Let's see what else is up here. I think Frank Tafano was banned there, so. Because he's not put up any videos. Unless this is it. I've not watched Quick Pump's video yet. No, he hasn't put up any videos. I think Tafano's got a community strike. There's no shorts have been published in about 2 weeks at least. But yeah, why don't we watch Quick Pump stuff? Hold on. I am subscribed to so many people, and some of these people I need to actually take off. It's a 44-minute video, so we'll get a couple pieces in here.
Physical resistance with my hands. This is something you could do seated. You're just doing the chin tuck, then bring it forward a little bit. But I'm doing it against gravity here.
It's a good way to warm up the neck there without no weight
And
or
when
anything.
you're doing it against gravity, sorry. Slow.
The thing about it is that it's like I told people, I've never been unless you were into wrestling, football, or any other sport that required a strong neck, I've always advocated against training it there, just out of aesthetic purposes, you know. Because training your neck will throw off the aesthetics of your face.
On the top two, but yeah. And then go under the chin, and let's get a weight here. So today I'm going to use a 35. I'm already warmed up, so I'm just going to do one set. I've got this on the floor. I'm going to loop this through it. I hold it with my hands, so nothing really on here right now. But let me adjust the camera 1 second. You want to make sure everything's in position, and I like to do these seated, so you want to have a nice stable seat while you're doing it. Let me see if I can get a little more in the camera. So I'm sitting on a bench. I have it between my knees. And then I extend. I maintain a slight chin tuck, and then I extend. I engage the chin tuck first. I relax a little bit at the end, but I still maintain a slight chin tuck. I'm aware of that at all times.
And that's the classic wrestling workout for training the neck. So, but you know what I try to do, if you were going to train the neck, is you want to get an all-around neck by doing this here, and with a much lighter weight, or just doing it without weight.
Now you don't have to use a cable machine. It's just I'm lazy, and I feel like. Another set. Let's try a little bit. Oh. Trying to get where it feels more comfortable on the wrist.
You're not supposed to be comfortable with the wrist. If it's uncomfortable, then that means you're doing it right.
No! That wasn't even like that long, man. 75%. All right, take a little rest. Let's try.
Let's see what else we got here.
Just be cautious with that. Consult a physician. So yeah, just.
Overall, I think that's a good video here. If you guys are interested in if you guys are actually interested in training the neck, that's a good way of doing so. But like I said, I still stand by what I state about neck training. It really should be just for specifics. By itself, even without training it, most exercises are going to indirectly train the neck. Well, folks, get your questions in. Want to make a donation, you can. Smash the like button. In 30 minutes, we will go over the Kick channel and do reaction videos. I don't know where Frank Tufano is. He must have got a community strike or and is banned for 30 days. I've not seen him. I think that was a very informative video. Oh boy. Yeah, shrugs is one of the things that indirectly work the neck. I mean, it's good to have a strong neck, but I'm all about aesthetics. If you're not going to be a wrestler or something like that, you know, something that requires neck strength, I don't encourage people to train the neck directly. How's my tan? She's in New Jersey. She's on vacation. Why in the world would someone compare Little Caesars to Pizza Hut? That's an interesting video. Let's check it out.
I spent $21 at Little Caesars and $42 at Pizza Hut for literally the exact same orders. So let's see if they can justify that price.
Well, Pizza Hut would be a little bit better.
This pizza is super soggy and super greasy. It's disgusting. That's literally like a 3.2 out of 10. Next up, we got Pizza Hut's breadsticks. And to stay...
Raw food, you know, I usually give you a little bit too much leeway in terms of comments and everything, but that one went a little bit too far, and I think you can agree with me, so we'll need to shut you up for about 30 minutes or so. All right, I'm going to start this over again.
$21 at Little Caesars and $42 at Pizza Hut for literally the exact same orders. So let's see if they can justify that price difference. From both places, we got a large pepperoni pizza, breadsticks, and buffalo wings. So let's get into it. First up, a Little Caesar slice. The pizza's cheap, but it also tastes cheap. 4.2 out of 10. Now for Pizza Hut, and that is not looking very good. This pizza is super soggy and super greasy. It's disgusting. That's literally like a 3.2 out of 10.
That's why I don't eat at Pizza Hut. You know, the best pizza out there is local pizzerias, you know.
Next up, we got Pizza Hut's breadsticks. And to stay on track while doing videos like this, I'm scanning everything with Kalo because it tells you the macros. Their breadsticks just taste so bready to me though. I'll give those a 5.2. All right, now we got some crazy bread. This is literally like chewy bread with no flavor. 3.9 out of 10. All right, now we got Pizza Hut's wing here. I'll give them a 6. We got Little Caesars, and why are they combined like that? Maybe I'm just weird, but I always think Little Caesars delivers on the wings. Both these places are pretty mid, but I'm gonna give the win to Little Caesars.
Folks, if you want good pizza, go to a local pizzeria. You'll spend less and you'll get quality ingredients here. Also, if you see a, well, never mind. Folks, be mindful as far as comments there. What Raw Food said was highly inappropriate. Highly. Then he tried to play it off if I was... I know where you were getting at there, boy. I always go to local pizzerias, Matt. Oh, what's up, Matty Matt? How you been? I always go to local pizzerias because they're going to always be better. You know, they're not having the thing about Little Caesars and Domino's, they got to pay those franchise fees and all this other stuff. So most of their money goes to that, so they got to get cheap on ingredients. A local pizzeria, they don't have to pay franchise fees or anything like that. They just pay for the building. Therefore, they can get higher quality ingredients and not charge so goddamn much. So I always go to a local pizzeria. But I mean, the thing about it is we're somewhat dating. I mean, we're not in an actual relationship or anything. Let's just say we just enjoy each other's company. And that's perfectly good enough for me. Like I said, folks, I've already been married before. So... and I don't intend to really plan to get married again. Marriage is rough. Marriage can be a pain in the ass, folks. The only thing I can say is that at least I was married. A lot of people don't get married. They just don't. Fire roasted cassowary. No, we're not doing that again. We are not doing that again. Chuck E. Cheese, what's up, dog? Let me show you my little thing again, folks, in case you just tuned in. There you go. It's coming soon there, Chuck E. Cheese. And no, I'm not repping for the company. This is my company. I'm using the escrow I'm getting from the sale of my gaming website to actually build Black Star Wellness. That's one of the reasons why I sold the gaming website, so I can have funds in order to put this all together. But folks, Black Star Wellness, will be pissed. Marriage gave me yeah, I hear you there, Chuck E. Cheese. But a lot of people are not going to get married because they don't have the stroke or anything, or just don't want to do that. That's perfectly fine. I dig that. Fully understandable. You know. They won't get married, but they sure will have a whole lot of babies, that's for sure. Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is. But folks, get your questions in. If you wish to make a donation, you can. Please smash the like button. It's pretty easy to register a domain. But I try to always go to this website to get my domains. But there wasn't anything in there so far. I may check later on. But in case of this peptide company, I don't want someone else's shit, basically. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese, just be careful when buying an expired domain. Because like I said, you may end up picking up someone else's garbage.
Talking about him. Talking about him.
very interesting day, folks, I have to say. Let's see where Vegan Gains is at as far as his training is concerned. I'm sure he's taken off his shirt by now. That right there is just insane. Look how freaking yoked he is now.
Dan Bilzerian and Nick Fuentes are beefing.
Matty Matt with a $3 donation. Definitely appreciate that. Let's take a look and see what we got here. Hold on just a minute here. All right. Let's cut off the music. Actually, let's do this instead.
This going, what are you doing, man? Very, very odd. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and we have a drama-packed episode for you today. And what better way to kick off the launch of the new studio, hope you guys like it, than to talk about the newest drama in the America First space. And I actually heard about this story last night from the viewers on my live stream, was very confused when I very first heard about it, and that is the newest beef between congressional candidate Dan Bilzerian and Nick Fuentes. And if you're like me, when you first heard about this, you thought, why in the hell would these two be beefing? It seems like they both are very ideologically aligned, but yes, it turns out everyone is a Fed. You've got Dan calling Nick a Fed, and you've got Nick making claims that Dan tried to unalive Ben Shapiro. Yes, it's juicy, and I'm...
Boy, I see this ending up in court.
I'm not here to take sides necessarily. We're just going to walk through what...
Yes, you are. You're there for the... You're only commentating for the mints.
What's going on in this new beef. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel. Follow us on Patreon. Grab some America First, America Only merch. Okay, let's talk about it. And guys, I'll tell you up front, I really don't understand this. Like, it's very bizarre to me that we have, this is becoming a reoccurring theme now in the conservative America First space, whatever you want to call it. And that is the infighting. Although I will say there's really no infighting between anybody else other than really infighting between Nick Fuentes and literally almost everyone else in the America First space. So we're going to talk about that, but I'm not exactly sure who fired the first shot here. Maybe you guys can help me out with this in the story, but I think it may have been Dan posting this, but I could be wrong. Nick could have posted first. Let's take a look. So Dan comes out and says, I think Nick Fuentes is a Fed. Constant division, endless infighting, defending Epstein, then attacking a Christian man only to endorse a Jewish Democrat woman after saying the left wants us dead. The contradictions never end. I actually want to go through this sort of section by section because I'll be honest with you, nothing Dan says here is objectively not true, other than, you know, if he's a Fed or not, I don't know. I'm talking about the actual body of the message here. But the actual message here, constant division, endless infighting, etc. And let's actually break this down of, is what Dan's saying true here? So, yeah, let's go piece by piece here. Constant division, endless infighting. So, I mean, this is objectively true. We're seeing this constantly. Like, who has Nick had beef with? Now, for the most part, the America First base is pretty united across the board. People usually support each other, but Nick has had massive beef and drama with Tucker Carlson, we saw that back and forth, and that one is still going till today.
Half the thing was about Fuentes, and like, who cares? Fuentes?
There was a lot of Fuentes.
Who cares about Fuentes? Talk about irrelevant. And I said to her, I wish I'd never interviewed that kid. Not that again, I don't even really have strong feelings about Fuentes. I just don't care. He doesn't know anything. He's not like I don't really know what's the significance of Fuentes other than as a tool to get other people to be quiet. And that may be the whole point of Fuentes.
Then you had Fuentes calling Tucker a Fed and saying things like, I believe they called him a low IQ anti-Semite, which I think he said that about Dan as well. So again, very bizarre because that seems to be like his whole brand. But anyway, then he's also had beef with Candace. He's had beef with Ian Carroll. He's had beef with Dave Smith. He's had beef with Jake.
Yeah, I saw Brad streaming his cardio. It's been like almost 2 years since he's done that. So good on Brad there.
Shields. It seems like he's had beef with like everybody in the America First space. Again, very bizarre because what's the point here? What's the end goal of this drama between the two? I don't get it. To me, it seems counterproductive for everybody, but we'll keep going. And then Dan says here, defending.
Counterproductive. I'm not on any of these people's side.
Big E. And well, let's take a look.
Epstein, not a 14 to 17. That's not. After the age of 14, that is past the point of sexual maturity. Just period, biologically.
I mean, fucking gross right out the gate. I was very, very critical of this one. Still am when I saw it. Absolutely disgusting because it's not just about, they're biologically mature enough at 14. Okay, but they're not mentally mature enough at 14. I have a teenage daughter. They are children. And that one lost Nick a lot of support from a lot of people, even in his own base.
No, it didn't. No, they didn't.
And the last one we have here, attacking a Christian man only to endorse a J Democrat woman after saying the left wants us dead. This is also objectively true. Now, this was in reference to this governor race between Vivek.
So here's the thing, folks. Nick Fuentes has a North Carolina mentality. Not too long ago, maybe 20 or 30 years ago, the age of consent in North Carolina was 15 years old. And the reasoning behind that is the, biologically ready for babies and stuff. But fortunately, we're not a bunch of hillbillies and stuff like that anymore. And yes, that is gross.
And Amy Acton of Ohio. And I got to tell you right up front, guys, if you live in Ohio, I am sorry that these are your two choices because you're hosed either way. But the point being here is that Nick has obviously been attacking Vivek constantly. And again, I don't disagree with that. He's part of the J.D. Vance Palantir small tech little club, right? So I don't think Vivek has any business being a governor. However, endorsing Amy Acton, who is she? Well, let me show you. Well, here you go. This is the Jewish Democrats Council of America. Their JDCA endorsed.
Oh, she's a Jew. Okay. I gotcha. Well, is she a Jew or is she being endorsed by other Jews? I'm not sure.
Candidates. All right, and here we go. Endorsed right here. Amy Acton. And guys, again, just kind of very bizarre that
Oh, she is a Jew. Okay.
Nick Fuentes is choosing to endorse her. So again, good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, it just depends on who you are and what you believe. But I mean, the fact that he's going that route, to Dan's point, is a little bizarre given his brand. But again, maybe he hates Vivek that much. Again, to me, I think these are both terrible candidates, and Ohio is hosed either way. But again, still very odd to take the side of the demographic that you're the most critical of. It's a little bit hypocritical, I think. All right, so that was Dan's messages, and to be honest, he's got pretty fair points. It wasn't really like anything he said was objectively untrue about the situation. Here's what Nick had to say. This is where things sort of started to spiral out of control. All right, let's look at this, because these are insanely bold claims by Nick. Nick says, the first time I met Dan Bilzerian at his house, he had us put our phones in another room, then asked me how difficult it would be to unalive our greatest ally government ministers. Then he invited me to Dubai and Qatar, which I declined. On his way there, he was ambushed by the FBI. Okay, so again, massive claims here of threats of unaliving people is pretty bizarre. Let's talk our way through this, okay? So what's the likelihood that Dan Bilzerian, somebody who actually did serve in the military, very proficient with guns, knows 1,000 times more about any of this than Nick does, would be asking Nick Fuentes, someone who I don't know if has probably ever even shot a gun, on how to unalive foreign government officials? okay, maybe. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. He then says, of course, he then invited me to Dubai and Qatar, which I declined on his day there. He was ambushed by the FBI. Okay, maybe these things happened. I don't know. But then Lucas Gage says, holy F. Nick, I swear to God, he did the same thing to me. He walked me and Jake, I'm assuming he means Jake Shields, up to that room with a batting cage. We put our phones on the couch and went up to that scheduled room with the big TVs. He asked me about where Ben Shapiro lived. How could he be taken out? These are massive, massive claims, right? You are accusing him of attempted murder. So, again, bold claims here. Nick then says, this is getting really weird, man. I wonder if anyone else has had the same experience. Seems like his move was to invite all the prominent JQ influencers to his place in 24-25. Maybe the whole thing like an Epstein-style honeypot. I just thought he was really dumb. Well, a lot of people that do know Dan and have been to his house did respond to if they've had similar experiences. Let's see what everybody said. All right, Jake responds and says, this is insane and a flat-out lie. Earlier today, I was still trying to kill the divide between Nick and Dan, but now it seems clear they're both feds. I had tremendous respect for Nick, even when we fought, but seeing him make such...
Calling someone a fed is, what's the big...
outrageous claims makes me wonder who is paying him. All right, so straight out of the horse's mouth, saying this is a complete lie. Interesting. All right, Ian Smith said, weird. I've been to Dan Blazarian's house and spent the entire day talking about politics, amongst other things, with no mention of violence. We did have some great steaks, though. Ian Carroll says, same. And guys, I've talked to Dan myself, and I'll tell you, he was incredibly nice, incredibly respectful, super down to earth in the limited interactions that we had. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird sell here. And what really kind of raises my eyebrows about this whole claim by Nick, and again, I hate to take sides here, but here's the thing, Nick. What you're claiming is that Dan Blazarian said all those things to you, some insane accusations that you're making, and you just never said anything to anyone about this until all of a sudden just now, like what, a year or two later, you decide to say this after he criticized you online? I'm never a big fan of outlandish stories that are in response to someone criticizing you, because it seems like if you had any integrity, you would have come out and told that story immediately, because I don't know if he's threatening to kill people. That is a very big no-go for everybody. We don't condone political violence or anything like this whatsoever, regardless of how much we might dislike somebody like Ben Shapiro. It's horrible. So
I think both of them are a bunch of strawberries, if you ask me. We're all Republicans, but you got to remember, folks, I'm a rhino. I believe in compassionate conservatism. Not this other stuff these days, but as you guys know, compassionate conservatism is not very popular these days. People won't trump conservatism.
The fact that you knew about this and you didn't say anything doesn't make you look very good either. Now, I started looking into this a little bit deeper, and I think that this beef actually goes back further than we all realize when we're trying to figure out, okay, why is this happening? And I found this. All right, Candace posted this almost a year ago where she said, open discussion is the only way forward. Looking forward to this. She shows her text to Nick saying, hey, Nick, I think we have to get you back on. Team just showed me all the coverage you're giving me. Again, still shocking given how kind we were to you. Want to come back to Nashville and we can do a discussion live on Wednesday on Rumble. She then says, Dan Blazarian says he'll moderate, so this time you can't pretend you were set up and attacked. So a debate between Candace and Nick, moderated by Dan Blazarian. That's bizarre. But again, to me, it seems like maybe there's a little bit of beef going on behind the scenes that we didn't know about beforehand. But again,
there's no beef. They're just trying to get views, get that social media revenue. That's really all this is, folks. We know that.
And I don't know. But in fairness, both sides of this, is Nick actually being attacked because of some things that he said recently that is really pissing off the Republican Party?
I'm a non-woke moderate Democrat. I think the GOP needs to be destroyed. I think the corrupt criminal government of Trump needs to be slowed down. We need to impeach the orange. It's time to put this in a peach. Trump needs to be placed inside of a crystal. He needs to be impeached. This fat orange, tiny hands needs to be impeached. And then in 28, no Vance, no Rubio. We have to burn down the whole party.
No, I don't really disagree with anything he's saying there. I think Trump sucks. I think that, the Republican Party's got no business being rewarded for the absolute abject disaster that they've been running with full control over the government for the last 2 years. Why would we reward them for that? And Nick says there, I'm a non-woke, moderate Democrat. Okay, interesting choice. Probably obviously not true. I think he's being hyperbolic there. But I think to the point is then you'll also see him say right after that the left out of both sides of the mouth, which is exactly what Dan was criticizing him for at the beginning of what we looked at. And so
Nick Fuentes will never be a moderate leftist Democrat.
So where does that leave us on this whole thing? My opinion on it, okay? Again,
I know, and I am a Republican, but yeah, they refer to me as a rhino. I can't help that, so I'll own the name with pride there, Ryan. I mean, I believe in compassionate conservatism. I'm one of those people of Bush, I'm a log cabin Republican and stuff, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I will own the name Rhino, but it's RHINO. That's the rhino I am concerned with, because I plan to charge and run over people just like a fucking rhino.
And I don't like the infighting, right? I mean, again, we have bigger fish to fry, especially when we're talking about Dan Bilzerian. Dan Bilzerian is running for Congress against Randy Fine, who's one of the most disgusting human beings in this country, if not the world. I mean, the dude's out here on Twitter.
Jesus Christ, that is one fat dude. Man, he needs some Ozempic.
They're laughing at pictures of dead babies and rubble, calling for the genocide and nuking of innocent people, calling for them all to be starved to death. So why, if you're Nick, why are you attacking the guy who's running against that? Isn't like Randy Fine the ultimate evil to you? Wouldn't you want to support Dan in trying to remove him and the supremacy problem in Congress? Like that's the figurehead of that. Why would you be attacking the guy who's trying to unseat that? Again, very, very odd. But that's why you're seeing memes like this start to pop up. Because, again, a lot of people are looking at this going, what are you doing, man? Very, very odd. Simultaneously attacking Dan Bilzerian, who's running against Randy Fine. It kind of feels like you're supporting the side that you supposedly have all the problems with. But, again, I don't know. Maybe what he's saying about Dan is true. Doesn't sound like it from what most people are saying, but...
Yeah, you're right. I'm part of the old republic there, Ryan. That's why I joined the Republican Party. I mean, I worked in '92 for Jack Stevens for Congress. But then I saw what the Democrats are doing. I'm pro-life. I've seen an abortion before, and it's very disgusting. I mean, I'll tell you right now, even though it's the size of an acorn and everything, watching an abortion, and I'm not talking about those little videos. I'm talking about at a hospital watching a doctor do an actual abortion. You can't unsee that type of shit, believe me.
Who knows? Could be. But ultimately, this is not a good thing. And again, I think that we could probably be a little bit more focused on who the bad guys in the political area actually are. And, I really don't feel personally that it's the conservative America First space. I think we have bigger fish to fry when we're talking about people like Randy Fine and Ted Cruz and Mark Levine and Ben Shapiro and Lindsey Graham, etc. So rather than attacking each other, it seems get a little bit focused because the midterms are coming up soon and working to try to get Randy Fine elected. Yeah, I think a lot of people in this space are not going to be very supportive of this. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with this drama and where it goes. But for now, that's all I got for you. I'll catch y'all in the next video.
Yes, we sure will. But Jay accusing Groper Hero is now a Democrat. I don't know what Nick is actually doing. I will be honest with you. I really don't. All right, folks. It's time to head over to Kick. So remember, folks, we're going to Kick now, okay? All right, and I will see you over there in a couple of minutes here.